So I'll go to router 1 and I'll start configuring the neighborship between router 5 and router 4. So I'll go to router BGP 500 and I'm going to pair with router 5, and loopback IP of the router 5 is remote AS 500, and then update source loopback 0. And also we need to say route rift data client, because now router 1 is your server here. We need to configure it as a route rift data client. So it's just like a normal route rift data configuration. Now the same thing I had to do for router 4 also. 14.0.0.1 remote AS 500, and then update source, and then route rift data client. So on the router 1, I'm going to configure the normal IBGP commands, remote AS update source, which is common in any router, either it is a client or server. But on the server, we have one extra command called route rift data client, where we are defining that R5 and R4 are the clients. And then I'm going to advertise only LAN interface for verification. So which means I'm only advertising the 10 network, only LAN interface. No, we don't need any other interfaces to advertise. If you want, you can advertise. But for verification, just to make it very simple, I'm using only one network in the BGP advertised. So same thing I need to go and configure on the router 5 and router 4. On the router 5, let's start with router 4, router BGP 500. Now these clients are going to pair only with server. So in our scenario, R1 is your server. So I'm going to pair with loopback 0 interfaces, that is 11.0.0.1 is the loopback of R1. And then update source loopback 0, advertising your LAN interface. My LAN interface is 40.network. Done. Now you can see the neighborship comes up, and if you go and verify, almost you have the same commands on the router 5, because the router 5 also pairs with R1, but the network which we need to advertise will be 50.network. So apart from that, everything is same. So finally, now verification. Now we'll verify on the router 1, that is our server, to ensure that the server form neighborship with both the clients. Now still router 5, there's no neighborship. Now it's up. Now if I will give a show IP BGP summary, now you can see neighborship is up. I should be able to see one route from both the neighbors, because we are advertising the LAN interfaces. So if I give show IP BGP, I'm not able to see 5 network. I think it will take some time for convergence. So let's wait for. Okay, now it's up. I can see if I give show IP BGP summary, I can see from both the neighbors I'm receiving only one prefix, and if I remove the summary, I can see total 3 networks will be advertised. One is our LAN interface, and the remaining 2 are coming from router 4 and router 5. Now same thing I need to do on the other cluster, which is router 3 is a server. Let's try to configure the similar way. Router BGP 500, I'm going to say neighbor 12.0.0.1, which is router 2, remote AS 500, update source loopback 0, and then I have to say route rift data client. Okay. Now similar way I have to pair with another client, which is our router 6, which is 16.0.0.1, remote AS is 500, and then we need to say update source loopback 0, and then finally route rift data client, and advertising the network command, that is 30.network. So I'm going to configure on the router 2 as well, router BGP 500, and router 2 is going to pair only with server, that is router 3 13.0.0.1, remote AS is 500, and then update source, and advertising our LAN interface, which is 20.network. And if I use the same commands on the router 6, except the network command, everything will be same. So I'll go to router 6 and I will configure pairing with router 3, which is my server, and advertising the LAN interface. Now finally, next thing, verification. So to verify, I should go to my server. Let's say I'll verify both the clients should form the neighborship with the server. So it's still active. Okay, now you can see the neighborship is up. If I give show IPBGP summary, you can see the neighborship is up, but still I'm not getting the routes. So if I give show IPBGP, so after some time anyway, I'll see the routes coming up. Okay. So if I verify now on the router 3, if I give show IPBGP, I can see the routes are coming from router 2, router 6 and router 3. But there is no route exchange between the two different clusters, and the reason is there is no pairing between them. Now here the routes are exchanged from router 6 within this cluster and also within this cluster. But if you want to exchange the routes, you need to ensure that any one of the router here must pair with any one of the router in the other cluster. So based on that, they will exchange the routes. Now either you can do by any non-client, non-server, or you can also pair between the servers. That will be a better way. So I'm going to pair with both the servers R1 and R3 between the two different clusters in order to ensure that the routes will be exchanged. So before I do this, I want to show you one thing. Let's try to verify on the router 5. On the router 5, I'll go and check show IPBGP. So router 5 is advertising 50.network here. It's a direct guide network. Now router 5 is going to advertise that network to router 1, which is our server. Let's verify the same thing here. Show IPBGP 50.000. So when I give this 50.00 network, now I can see here some information. It's a local router received from RR client, that is R5 is our RR client, and this is your RR client 15.001, the router ID of router 5, and then it's coming from router 5, that is 15.001. And if I try to verify the same thing on the router 4, that is the other client, let's try to verify the 50.network, show IPBGP 50.000. Now here you can see the information is propagated here. You can see now here you can see the originator ID here. So the route is originated. Now originator ID is one of the non-transitive attribute. Like when you do this kind of scenarios, it also advertise with some attribute information, especially in this when you are doing a route reflector configuration by using multiple clusters or even a single cluster. If a route is originating from here, advertising to server, and the server is going to advertise back to the client. Now this client is going to receive the update, and it is having the originator ID information, which means from where the route is originated. Now it is the attribute which is created by RR server. Now this is our RR server, and it is the router ID of the router that is originating the prefix. Now in our scenario, who is originating that? 50.network, and the router ID of the 50.network, the router 5 is 15.001, highest IP of the loopback. Okay, and the cluster list, you will see one more information here propagated. We call it as cluster list. Now cluster, just now we discussed, it is a set of routers forming a route reflector server client configuration. Now cluster list is also an attribute information, a non-transitive attribute information. It's more similar to your AS path attribute. Now if you know AS path, if a route is coming from AS 100, it's going to add the prepend the AS number, and it's going to send to 200, and it's going to send to 300, something like that. Similar way, when your any of the BGP route is getting advertised. Now in our scenario, the 50.network is going to advertise from here. It goes to router 1. When router 1 is going to advertise to another cluster, it's going to prepend this information. So I'll show you more in detail when I complete the configuration between R1 and R2. So just a basic information. Let's try to get into the IBGP configuration between the RR servers of both the clusters. So I'll go to R1. So R1 is going to pair with R3. So I'm going to use again loopbacks because we do have a reachability between them. Remote AS is 500, and then update source. Now when you are pairing with RR to RR servers, you need to have a client server relationship between them. So I'm going to make R1, R3 will be acting as a client for R1. Similar way, R1 will be acting as a client for R3. So the same way, we need to go to router 3, router BGP 500, neighbor 11.0.0.1, remote AS is 500, and then I'm going to say update source loopback 0, because all the peering were done based on the loopback interfaces. And then I need to say route reflector client. Done. Okay, so now the next thing is, now once we configure both the clusters, now we configured the cluster 1, this is our cluster 1, let's say, and this is our cluster 2, configured separately, and then we configured IBGP peering between these two clusters, any two routers. In our scenario, we configured between RR servers again. Now finally, you should see all the 6 networks. Like in each and every router, we are advertising one LAN interface, so I should be able to see all the routes. And also we should also see that attribute information much more in detail. Let's try to get into that. Let's try to verify now. So from where we should start? Let's try to verify from router 5 here. The 50 dot network will verify how it is going to advertise to router 1, and router 1 advertises to router 3, and router 3 is going to advertise to router 6. So this is a step of verification now. I'll start with router 5. Anyway, router 5 is advertising to router 1. We have just verified that. So if I go show IP BGP 50 dot network, so which I am receiving from router 5 to router 1. I can see when this route is originated, it is received from a client, and it's going to add, it says it's received from 15.0.0.1, which is the router ID of the router 5. Okay, let's try to verify on the router 3 now. Now when our server, now here when it is going to advertise to server will just maintain the information of from where the route is actually originating or coming from there. But when the server is going to propagate the same information to another client, it's going to add that information. So just now we verified here. So what we verified here on the router 4, we have verified that router 4 is going to receive, when the server is going to advertise to another client, it is going to add the information called originator ID from where the route is actually originating from the router 5, and also it will going to propagate, add the cluster list information. So cluster list is more similar to autonomous system path attribute. So as it moves on between the clusters, it's going to prepend the cluster list information here, and we can verify with this command show IP BGP and whatever the network you want to verify. So now we are going to verify in the other cluster. Now we'll verify on the router 3 now. On the router 3, show IP BGP. Show IP BGP, I'm going to verify with 50 dot network. And if you try to see here the originator ID. Now originator, who is originating? This is the originator here. Just a minute. It's coming from router 5, that is 15.0.0.1, and now from there it is received from 11.0.0.1, which is router 1 here, and then you can see cluster list information here. Now the cluster list or cluster ID, generally this is called cluster ID. By default, the cluster ID will be the router ID of the RR server in that cluster. So in our scenario, the router ID of this is 11.0.3.1, the highest IP of the loopback. It has automatically taken the highest IP of the loopback here. Okay, so router 3 is going to receive with only one cluster information because it is just moving to different cluster. It has just reached the server. But now when you verify the same thing on the router 6, you should see two cluster information here. If I give show IP BGP 50 dot network again, now this time you will see some more information here, like this is your originator, from where the route is originating here, originator ID, and then you can see the cluster information is prepared here. Now initially it's going to 3111, which is 3111. Okay, sorry, first it's coming from 11.0.111, which is router 1, the router ID of this router, and then it's getting to router 3, that is router 3. This is the cluster ID of this router. Now this is the router ID which has taken on the router 3, I can say. Now this is your cluster information. So similar way, if you have one more cluster here, let's say one more cluster here, now it's going to prepend that information. Now this cluster list information is more similar to autonomous system path information, which is going to act as a loop prevention mechanism. Let's say this 50 network is getting advertised from router 5 to router 1, and router 1 is going to advertise to another cluster, and from there it reaches router 6. Now what router 6 is doing is, router 6 is having one more router here, and that router is advertising to another router here. Maybe you have one more cluster here, and then this router is getting back again on the same cluster again. Now it will not install the routes here. Now the reason is, whenever any specific router inside that cluster, if it sees its own cluster ID. Now what is the cluster ID of this cluster here, 11.0.3.1? when it sees its own cluster information into that cluster list, it's not going to install those routes. It's more like an autonomous system path loop prevention mechanism. When you say AS path, whenever a router receives any update, if it sees its own AS number, it's not going to install those routes. Now the same thing is going to apply here also. So cluster list information is a non-transitive attribute. So there's no path manipulation we do based on these attributes, but it's really important to understand these attributes like originator ID, from where the route is actually originating, the router, and then we have something called cluster list information, a list of clusters the particular route is moving, and then the cluster is actually the set of routers. So in the cluster ID is the router ID of a specific route reflector server in that cluster. Now if you want, you can even change the cluster ID. It's up to you. Like let's say I'll go to router 1 and I want to change the cluster ID. So if you want to change the cluster ID information, I can simply go to router BGP 500, and then there is a command called BGP cluster ID, and then we can define any cluster ID. Let's say by default it is going to take the router ID, but I can say the cluster ID has to be 10.1.1.1. I can change that. It's all up to you. So we can even change that information. But when it comes to troubleshooting, you may come across some scenarios, especially when you're doing some CCI lab exam. Probably when any question is asked on troubleshooting, now what they will do is he may probably you have a configuration that this router is having the cluster ID of 10.1.1.1. Now if you have the same cluster ID configured for the another cluster, let's say the cluster ID is same on both the sides. Now from here the routes will go here, and from here the routes will not get installed on the other cluster, because whenever any router sees its own cluster ID information in that update, they will not exchange the routes. Now which means when you are configuring clusters, you have to ensure that each and every cluster should have a unique cluster ID. So if that cluster ID is repeated, in that case it's not going to install the routes.